Hi guys, and welcome along to this new video. This one is going to be a new build, and it is an open sourced unit which I am making, which has been made for quite a few different systems. The unit is called a TZX and it's the Reload 1.5 Nano that I'll be building. Now these are made to replace the tape recorders and that for these old systems, and this one will work on the Spectrum, the MSX and the Amstrad, and these will work with the various file types of TZX and TAP for the Spectrum, TSX and CAS for the MSX, and CDT for the Amstrad. So my very good friend who lives in the South Island of New Zealand started to make a few of these units, and I said to him, hey listen, you know, if you want to send me one up and I'll do a build on the channel for you, and let you know how it goes. And so he very graciously sent me up a complete kit, and we'll open this up shortly and see what's in it. But his name is Stephen Swaft, and he's down in Christchurch in the South Island. I just say thanks very much, Stephen, for the Reloaded 1.5 Nano. I've not done a lot of fine surface mount soldering, so this is going to be a little bit of fun. My stuff's all been through hole and replacement, so but yep, as I say, this is a new adventure, and that's what we're all about. So he's very graciously programmed the Nano for me, so I don't have to go through that side of the software, but the instructions are all in the text file that come with the whole unit. What we will do is I will change you to overhead, and then what we'll do is we'll have a look through the box of bits and that are there, and we'll go from there. Alright, so grab something to drink, something to nibble on if you're inclined, and let's get on with it. Okay guys, here we are. So here's the box of bits that I got sent, so let's open it up and see what we got inside. And from memory, I think he did say there was one or two bits that he didn't have to send me up, but I've got those anyway. And I just have to get the box of bits out of the back room for the replacement parts. So we have, this is the main board for the TzxDuino. A nice looking board, and these will be boards that you can get through places like PCB Way or any of the Chinese PCB fabrication places. So it's a board, it's only single sided, so we only need to worry about one side. That's the Nano, Arduino Nano, which has it's the one that has the legs not soldered onto it, so soldered those onto that. So that's the Nano. And here there's the that's the SD card reader for it, that goes on there. There's the headphone jack, standard 3.5-inch headphone jack, and they come with the 2.5-inch remote jack as well. So some of your cassette decks need the remote jack, so that's what turns the motor on and off on the tape deck, and this actually senses that. So now we have surface mount switch, and there's three, that's what it was, yeah. There's three of the little push button switches, but I have a box of different sizes of those that are in the back room. So those are little momentarily push buttons. And here's the LCD. This is the little 1.8 inch, I think it is, LCD for it. So, and then that displays what comes up on the screen. And in this bag we have, I think this is a couple of ICs in this one. Yep, it's got the 2 ICs in it, which one goes there and one goes there. So it's the 2 ICs. I'll just zoom in for you guys so you get a bit better picture. Okay, so that should be a wee bit better for you. So let's move all this stuff down so you can see it. That's just an empty, that's an empty bag now, and that's an empty bag now. So there we have the board. That's the SD card. That's the surface mount switch which goes on here. The 2 ICs, which one goes here and one goes here. These are the 2 audio jacks. One goes on here. That's the sound, and that's the remote jack. That's the little wee 2.5 inch remote jack. And in this bag there's the various resistors and capacitors and bits and pieces that are in here to go on the board for the surface mounts. So I've just got to find my box which I've got all the other little push switches in. So there's just two I've got to put on here for that. So that's our box of bits that Stephen sent us up, and thank you very much, Stephen. So what I'll do is I will find the box of the other push button switches in it and get those out for this, and then we'll put this together. And after that we'll pull the Spectra video back out and we'll try putting some files on an SD card and give it a go. Alrighty, we'll be back to it shortly. Okay guys, so I couldn't find the box that just got the little push switches in, so I'm going to have a look, have a really good hunt for those and have a look for them. But I can probably find something to do the job for now. But anyway, to do these surface mounts, to do the ICs especially, I had to find my other tips from a soldering station. And these are the ones that came with, and it's the sort of thing is, these kits are really good. They do come with a range of bits, and this one's got some conicals, some point tips, and it's got a blade tip, which is the one I'm going to use for soldering the ends of those. And that's the old tip. That's the old tip out of it when I changed it to the bigger. This is a pencil tip, and this is when I changed it to the O2 tip that I've got. And the other thing is on AliExpress you can buy all the tips, and they come in packs, and they come with new sponges for the iron as well. So when you buy them, and I just got I just bought packs of the different types I needed, and they all come with a sponge in them. So those were 15s or 2Bs, those ones. And I got some of those, which is the next one up, or down I should say, or up, yes, sorry. And then these are some really heavy wedge tips that I wanted for some heavy work I was doing. But this is the first tip I ever had in that iron, and as you can see the tip's pretty worn on it. It's had a bit of a hard life, so you know. And that one there was just was a fine tip, and that's what I find doing this sort of stuff is probably okay, because you haven't got as heavier ground planes in it. But when you go to the bigger, heavier ground planes, that's where you need to go to the bigger tips. And if you're doing the long ICs, if you don't want to have too much heat for too long in there, that's where you need to go to these ones here, which have got the chisel. Just get the light out of it for you. These ones have like the chisel tips in them and that, which are like these ones, and that so that you can go down onto the board and you can actually heat it up and solder the whole lot all along as one. But it all comes down to preference. But I'll probably have a bit of a play and see which one I want to use. But I think for the ICs I will use the knife tip in it. I might try it with my other tip to start with, because then when you drag solder you do get bridges, and it's easier to clean it out with a normal tip than it is with a knife tip. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you that, and I'll stop prattling on to you now about it. And just thought I'd give you a heads up. I've also printed out the documentation that comes with it, so we can go through and just check off and make sure everything is on here that we need. And as far as I can see, the only thing that's missing that I need to get are 2 push buttons, and there's no micro USB connector, because we're actually using the Nano USB connector as the power source for the board, so we don't need to worry about that. Other than that, I'm pretty sure everything else is there. So but we'll go through and tick all these off, and it also printed out too, so on the board it just has the part ID. It doesn't actually have the value on it, so it's easy for me to go through on the part ID and put the right ones on. But other than that, everything looks honky-dory. So this is the upgraded version 2 to the original one, and that this is the TZX Duino-Reloaded 1.5 Nano. So this has been taken and enhanced by this chap, and not Stephen, but the chap who's actually put this out on GitHub. And he's done this, was done back in 2017. So it's been out for a little while, guys, and this was the latest version of it. So you can run 2 different displays on it too, apparently, as it has the instructions here. There are 2 different OLEDs you can run, is the 128 by 64 or the 128 by 32. So those are the 2 screens that will run. And the nice thing on the board is you can actually, with the screen, you can either have your screen coming across the board that way with your push buttons at the top here, or you can have it coming down the board that way, which is the way I'm probably going to do it, because I've got the STL file to 3D print a case for this as well, so I'll do that. So, but I think the first thing I will do is I'd pull on the discrete components first. I just have to check which way around the 2 diodes are, so which way is positive and negative, so they go on the board. It is marked on the board but not on the diodes, so I just have to double check those. And then the ICs are pretty straightforward, so I think, yeah, I do the discretes, then probably the two ICs, power switch, the SD, and that's all the surface mounts then. And then once all those surface mounts are on, then the through holes we can do. And of course, with the through holes, we turn it over and do it on the other side of the board. And there we go. And that is that, as they say. So we will carry on, and I'll put this mess away and get the camera in a bit better shot for you, and we'll do it. So okay, guys, what I'm going to do is just go through and check off all the bits to make sure I've got them all here. Now I know I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 push buttons. The Android Nano. So we have the Android Nano. 3 push buttons. The 2.5 and the 3.5 stereo jack. The TF card holder, which is the memory card holder for the images to go on. Surface mount. The double pole switch, surface mount, which we have. Right, so now just get the tweezers so I can flip these over and see what's on the back of them. Okay, so a 1K, which will be that one, surface mount resistor. Two 330 ohm resistors, yep, which is there. A 10 ohm, which is there. Now the micro USB we won't use because we're gonna connect it directly from the Nano, so we're not going to have to worry about that. One green LED, which is there. There's an LM amplifier chip. It's an LM386M1, which is that one there. There's a 4050D surface mount, which is there. $220 UF, which we don't have because it's apparently only with the amp. So I'm not sure that this one we're going to use the amp on it, so we can add it later on if we need it anyway. So we need 100 NFs. We need 3 of those. Which we have 3 of those there. 1, 3. And it's 10 UF. Which is that one there. Oh, one more. Thought there was one more missing. And a 47 NF, which is that one there. So, yeah, the only one is C5, which I don't think we need. I don't think it needs it for the Spectra video anyway, and this is what I'll be making this one for. But you can add it if you want to. Just read the instructions before you put it on. The price of the parts, it's not that expensive to get it and you don't use it. So it's not that expensive to worry about. So that's everything. Alrighty, so we've just gone through and marked all that off. So now I'll get things ready and we'll start putting this puppy together. And as I said, I need to try and find 2 more switches, so I might have a hunt around through bits and pieces and see if I've got a couple floating around on something that can be pulled off and used on here. Alright, see you shortly. Okay guys, just before I start, if you have any schools around you, and like your middle schools and your intermediate schools for us over here, see if they've got any old science gear they're gonna throw out, because they have all sorts of handy stuff. Now this is an old science bunt. They use it for holding the test tubes and that when they're using the Bunsen burners, and of course, you know, they're for holding the tubes, and they have these little wee 2-way twistable handles on them. So they have these, a heavy base with a chromed alloy pole in it. Now these are heavy, things are not going to fall over. And then they generally have an assortment of different types of these clamps. Now this is a double jaw with a crosshatch on the inside of it, but you can get the 3-fingered ones. So you can get the 3-fingered ones like that. So, and they have cork lining in them and that. So like these here, I can put a little bit of foam or something, self-adhesive foam on the inside so that they don't bite into anything too hard. But stuff like this, and they throw this stuff away. It's rubbish to them, you know, they don't use it anymore. So, yeah, if you see any of your schools that have got it, grab this stuff because it's really, really handy as a third hand. and if you need to hold stuff or move things around, and it's great for the height. You've got lots of height in it, and of course these just go in and then they just tighten up to where you want it, and you can move it around, set it up how you want it. Tilt that on the side if you need to, turn it around, tilt your board upside down, take it up, turn it all the way around again, put it out. Yeah, great. You know, you want to raise it up, take it up higher, drop it down lower. You can do what you like with them. And nice and heavy, put stuff on the base so it's not going to move. So yeah, if you can find one, and if you can get some and you don't need them, grab them and see if any of your mates in the area that do repair work would be interested in one. Better than throwing it in the bin. So anyway, I'm all ready to go, so I'm just going to go through and put my board in here, and then what I will do is then I'll just start on the board. I'll just go from the furthest one up the top, which will be C4 on this board. So I'll just start from the furthest one up, come down, and then do the ones on this side. Then once those are done, I'll turn the board around, do the two ICs and the SD card, and then once all those are done, it's just the through holes. Alright, so now we'll carry on. So there we have it so far, guys. I've got it soldered up. I do have to find those two push buttons for the front of it. I'm not sure where they are. I've just messaged Stephen to ask him if I need to put C5 in, which was the one he didn't send me up. I'm picking we probably don't, but as you saw, I have one there. It's a little bit big, but I think it'll be fine. Even if we do need to bend the legs and insulate them and put it over on a part of the board out of the way, I think that'll be fine. So I'm just waiting to hear back from him, and also on the cable layout to set it up for the Spectra video. And then we'll get on with it and put something on this and see how we go. We'll see you shortly. Right guys, I've got everything together now, and I've done an SD card. That's just an adapter. I had to do it on my laptop so I could put some games onto the micro SD for it. So I've got everything together for it. So I've got a couple of power packs and a USB to USB-B mini, which is what we need to power it up with. And that's what I'm saying, if I make an adapter to go from the cassette port down to 5 volts, and then that can go into the Arduino, and then that can run the whole thing, and I don't have to run a separate power pack. So I might do that. And I've got the SPI and a power pack for the SPI and all the rest of it. And the screen's over the side here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it all up and get it all ready. And I will swap the video camera around to the screen so you can actually see the screen and what we're doing. Alrighty, so just stick with me. Well guys, what do they say? Best laid plans of mice and men, is it? Well anyway, I went to fire it up on the screen and it wasn't finding the SD card for some reason, and on further inspection I've actually found that there was a bridge on the back of the SD card. So I decided, oh well, I'll try and take it off and reflow it and put it back on. And doing so, I actually buggered the cards. I've had to ask Stephen if he had a spare one to send me up, and I'm just waiting for that to come in. Then I can replace it, and I'll do it with a finer tip, because I think it's the big tip tends to be bridging the pins, and then it was shorting it to the case. I'll do it with a pencil tip on it this time, I think. So anyway, sorry about that. So this is going to be a part 2, and we will get on to it and sort it all out. But I hope you're enjoying it as far as we're going, and as you could see, as proof of concept, that it was powering up and running, so that's all good. What I will also do is I may look at getting in the 12 to 5 volt buck converters in, and we may look at doing that while we wait for this other socket to come in. We'll look at upgrading it so we don't need an external power source. Alright, so sorry guys, but yes, this is a part 2. Thanks for watching, and if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, only if you want to. And as I say, as always guys, take care, and until next time, ciao.